Welcome to Native Honor Hours. I'm Ed Zendejas, and my co-host is
Cindy Krafka.
All right. Well, we've got another great show today. We have some guests. We've been having some guests lately.
That's the nice thing about Zoom.
Well, and the other nice thing is I don't have to be in the same room as you.
I think we both think that's a perk.
No, because I don't have to worry about getting hit in the head all the time.
Oh, but you know, eventually we will be back together, and I have never forgiven or forgot anything you've said these many, many months. I got a little notepad.
Oh. Well, anyway, we have our guest today. You want to introduce our guest, Cindy, or want me to?
Yes, we have a special. We've been doing some work with Kona with tribal management and emergency services.
You have to say what Kona is. Most people won't understand.
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. It's the Native American group at Union Pacific. And traditionally,
it stands for something. Why don't we let Alyssa tell us?
May I introduce her see, Alyssa, I warned you about this very thing. But we've made some new partnerships, we've made some new friendships, and I'm really excited. I knew the group existed, but I didn't know much about it. I'd like to welcome our guest, Alyssa.
I even know what it stands for. You want me to tell you what it stands for?
Please, Ed, we're all on the edge of our seats.
Because you don't.
No, did I ever say
you still don't know the name of our show. It's been what, 10, 12 years now, Kenny? And she still doesn't know the name of our show.
Clearly, it was not my choice.
Kona stands for Council on Native American Heritage.
Of Native American Heritage. Yep.
Close enough.
Tell us a little bit about the group and when it started.
Yeah, so Kona is one of Union Pacific's ERGs, or employee resource groups. There's 9 different groups, but Kona was originally founded, so their first activity was in 2005. There was a group of UP employees that got together to recognize Native American Heritage Month. And then in 2008, it was formally recognized as one of Union Pacific's employee resource groups. So we just hit, I think, 13 years old. So I'd say we've probably made our most headway the last couple years. I've been at UP for I'm coming up on 5 years, and I've been on Kona's board for 4 of them. So I just got elected to be the current president, and we've done a lot of cool things. So yeah, happy to join you guys.
Well, congratulations on getting elected to be president. Approximately how many members are participating, Kona?
Good question. So we have an annual membership cycle, so we just barely started our newest cycle. Right now, technically, we've got around 125, but last year we hit over 200. So we're just starting our membership drives to get activities rolling and stuff. So we're excited for the events we have coming up here in the rest of 2021.
Well, make sure and let us know what the events are and how we can help you market and help and attend. What a great thing to be doing. I was surprised at how many Native people work at Kona. I really, really was. At UP. For some reason, we all grew up with a very, I guess, old-fashioned idea of the railroads. And it's 2021. We all have to kind of shift how we look at things, and hearing that UP has a Native group and it cares about its Native employees is really a great recruiting tool.
You mention your activities? What type of activities do you have coming up? And are they open to the public or just Union Pacific employees?
Great question. So we do a lot of our events are really based around kind of the needs of our membership. All members are technically have to be UP employees, but we have recently
That's sort of like blood quantum, huh, Cindy?
Little different, but we've really pivoted. It used to be that to be a Kona member, you had to be Native. And now we're really focusing on bringing in allies and educating our employees. And so we've had a number of different events And we recently made our Facebook page public instead of like a private group. And so I'm hoping that throughout the year we can have some of our events be published similar to how this one is, so that people can participate and see it externally to our organization. I know in March on the 24th, we have a film panel that's coming up, and each ERG, they started last month with Black History Month with our Black Employee Network, or BEN is their acronym. They had a film panel. Our turn is this month, coming up in March, and we're doing it on Native American stereotypes. And then we're hoping to follow up with that on cultural sensitivity training for how to be more culturally sensitive. I know one cool thing, so Union Pacific is, call it like the western 2/3 of the United States. And across our whole network, we interact with 26 individual tribal nations. So
Wow.
there's a lot of interaction opportunity for us, and especially educating our field members that are going to be boots on the ground in those communities, and giving them some tips on how to be culturally sensitive, I think is important.
That's when Eric Sherman and I got banned, Cindy.
What did you do, Ed?
They had some tribal leaders in. They were signing some agreement or doing something, and Sherman and I got invited, and it was on. There's some really fancy floor, isn't there? Like 17th floor, which is a real fancy.
Probably the 19th.
Union Pacific building. Well,
It's probably the 19th floor.
anyway, it's a floor where they reserve only for, the VIPs and the big shots. And they made the mistake in inviting me, and they wanted UNO representatives. So I went up there, and they said 2, and they were going to feed us. And I said, Sherman, you eat lunch yet? He goes, no, let's go down there.
Why Sherman? Of all the crazy kids we've ever worked with, you take their leader down.
Because he was around, and I said, "You eat lunch?" He goes, "No, let's go down there." And then, you know how me and Sherman get, we sort of acted up, and they have one thing that I admire about Union Pacific is that they do emergency training. So whenever you have an event or a meeting, they'll go through what is the the emergency escape route, who's going to call 911. So they give all these assignments out, and apparently either me or Sherman started saying something during the meeting. And anyway, so, but it was pretty fun. Sherman and I had a good time.
Well, I'm ashamed of you.
No, it was.
Really, Alyssa, I would be the one you would want to invite to any events where you don't want us thrown out of the building.
But we made some good friends with some of I think the tribal leaders got us, because natives have a, sense of humor.
Res humor.
And then
True, it's a real thing.
They come up talking to us afterwards, like we was, old time friends. But anyway, we didn't get invited back ever since then. So I think that is an indication of, they probably, if you go back in your book, you'll probably see a list of who should not be invited to Union Pacific.
I doubt that.
And you'll see my name and a guy named Eric Sherman, but Sherman's gone now, and it really doesn't matter anymore. Most of the people probably aren't there anymore. So I'm up for a good lunch if you guys want to invite me down there.
It's just a constant.
Hey, well, as soon as we can. Oh, sorry, Cindy.
No, go ahead, hon.
Oh, I was going to say, as soon as we have the ability to have in-person meetings, we normally do lunch with them. So you both are invited. Love to have you guys speak. And I know with our class coming up, so we've got some Kona members attending that class that you're hosting at this summer. I know that would be something we definitely would love more of our members to attend. I don't know with Tim how many we have signed up right now, but
I believe
that's emergency.
Yeah. Well, you know what's great about this is you're right. You interact with 235 federally recognized tribes. the laws are different. Things are different there. Sovereignty rules are different. And it's classes like these that teach you what it is from the other side. So when you go there, you know, okay, this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen, but this might happen. And just how to behave. Quite
They ain't
simply.
gonna learn anything from me.
Well, they learn a lot from me, Alyssa. I'm a much better educator. Let's just put it that way.
So you think there might be some interaction with the community one of these days?
I would assume so. Yeah, we I know, especially coming up, we have our Native American Heritage Month celebration, and we always do a tunnel unveiling that's open to the public. It's in our lobby area, and there is a hallway, call it, from our headquarters building to one of the parking lots underground. And there's a bunch of different areas that are like display cases essentially. And so we have all of those display cases filled with something educating on, in past years, we've done like kind of a Veterans Day theme with, you know, what Native Americans have, how they've impacted and influenced the military, going through the missing, murdered Indigenous women. We did that this last year. So yeah, that should definitely, I would foresee that still happening this year.
Well, also pre-COVID, UP was very involved in our powwow. They financially helped us out. They had a table down there. They talked to a lot of people. It was really good to have you there. It's good.
Yeah, and we would love to attend. I know that we've even started, we'd love to coordinate, like I don't know if it's like a table or have a group of tickets purchased for our members so that they can come and attend too. We love attending stuff like that, especially in the community.
Yeah, well, and the nice thing about us is powwow is free. So everybody in the community comes. We feed you, we give you great music, and semi-good MCs, Ed and Gary, we'll say they're on their way. Ed is also known as Eddie Z, the urban MC.
Ooh.
I know, he has so many titles. Judge, MC, professor.
In terms of you, do you say you've been here for 5 years? What do you do?
Yeah. So I am in marketing and sales here at Union Pacific. So my day job, call it, I'm a marketing manager on our industrial chemicals team. When I first started at UP, I was straight out of BYU, out of my undergrad, got a business degree.
Go Cougs.
Yeah. Yes, go Cougs. So I only have my undergrad, but I started out in their development training center, essentially, for entry-level marketing and sales. And then I was in field sales for a couple of years, and then just about a year ago now, I think I've hit my 1-year anniversary of being back in Omaha. So yeah.
Was BYU where you met Lexi?
No, I actually met her in the congregation out here in Omaha for the youth in this area. Yeah.
So you're from here?
No, I'm not. I actually grew up in Oregon and Singapore, so pretty far away from Omaha. Yeah.
And now you're in Omaha. Poor thing.
Back to Kona. You said you had a number of members. That's not just here in Omaha? Is that sort of Union Pacific wide?
Yeah, it's across our network. I would say a good third of our membership are people that don't live in Omaha. So it's been really great with COVID to move all our events virtually, because then we've had a lot more participation with them. We've been able to do some pretty cool things. We even had Desiree did she taught everyone how to make Navajo fry bread for one of our activities.
No, we call that, we don't
like
call
that.
it Navajo fry bread here. We just call it.
Oh.
We most certainly do not, young man.
What do you
I
mean?
will say though, if you're having Indian tacos, Navajo fry bread is the way to go because none of the toppings fall off.
It's flat.
Mm-hmm.
And they-
Anything's good that's fried.
And they don't use meat. They use beans.
1 year, no, more than 1 year, maybe 3 or 4 years. Ed and I judged fry bread contest for junior high and high school kids summer camp. We ate some bad fry bread, honey.
We
We
still
did.
haven't lost the weight.
So we ate a lot of fry bread. Gluten-free fry bread was interesting.
No, I never had any of that.
Ooh.
And
it
their little
corn-based,
feelings
or
got
what do they
hurt if you
do?
didn't eat every bite. It was very chewy. I don't even know how they did it, but it was very chewy. And you had to eat everything they gave you because their little eyes, they'd be looking at you all, do you like it? But I'm going to eat every bite. We did gain a lot of weight during that week. It was a solid week of doing nothing but eating.
And you couldn't turn anything
Wow.
either.
No matter what it looked like or smelled like, you were eating it.
Well, in terms of your organization, have you done any outreach with any of the local Native groups? Done any projects with them, and if so, what have you done?
Yeah. So since I've been with Kona, we typically pick like an annual partner each year to do things with. So we partnered with SOM, so Soaring Over Meth and Suicide, Tired Moccasin, St. Augustine Indian Mission. Every year we typically do a school supply drive in July and donate those to local Native children in the area that need school supplies. We also do a coat drive, and we do, it varies, but we'll work with various organizations. We'll reach out to like OPS or St. Augustine will normally give us a list of either families or elders that we can sponsor for the holidays. And another fun one we do too is we do yard cleanups for elders. So we, again, reach out to those same organizations and ask, okay, like we have like a group of people that are ready to volunteer, like where can you use us? And we typically do one in the spring, one in the fall, and knock out some yards and help some elders out.
You do know Cindy is an elder.
Hey, yeah. Cindy, if you want us to clean up your yard, just let me know the address.
I know, right? I shoveled myself the other day. I was kind of proud of myself. My friend said, take your phone in case you fall down and can't get up. I was like, I'm shoveling. I think I'll be fine. But Tired Moccasins is a great group, and it'll be so nice when we can all be together again. Which, speaking of, people, get your shots. Please get your shots. The only way we're going to get back to normal is if we all get our shots. And I've had my first shot. I had a 3-hour reaction. It was better than COVID. Any reaction is better than COVID. So please, if you're listening, when it's your time, get your shot so we can all get back to normal.
You know what, Cindy? That's what our show was on last week, that you got sick and couldn't come.
I had a 3-hour reaction to the COVID shot. I got the chills. I couldn't move. And by 7 o'clock that night, I was perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
Actually, Kenny, she was going through withdrawals. But
I'm getting my next one, and they're saying there's a difference. They're saying the Moderna has a little bit more of a reaction, and they're saying the second shot is worse than the first shot. But you know what I say? It's still better than COVID. I'm not going to be in a hospital on a respirator, so give me that shot. I'll take 12 hours or whatever of the chills.
Is there any word from Union Pacific when they go back, if they're planning any kind of return from COVID protocol?
Yeah, great question. So we right now, headquarters, I want to say the beginning of February, they did a soft open of the office they're encouraging everyone to, if they're able and, you know, given circumstances, haven't been exposed, right, try to go back to the office 1 day a week at least, and, you know, just keep doing our best to keep social distancing. It's mandatory to wear masks on property. And I went in on Tuesday this week, and it felt like a normal day in the office. It was awesome. You know, seeing people, granted everyone's, you know, masked up. I had a meeting with all of my team, and there were, I guess, 6 of us around a table, a really big conference table that before you probably had 20 people at, and now you had 6. But I mean, it's good to be back. So I actually get my vaccine tomorrow, so I'm really excited for that. So yes, highly encouraged. I'm someone with asthma and it was a lot of allergies, so I'm still gonna do it because yeah, I don't.
It's a reaction's better than COVID. You know, I mean, I don't know how else to say it. And the reactions people are having, the most you hear is 12 hours. I felt kind of bad for 12 hours. I can feel bad for 12 hours. I don't want to go to the hospital. I want to hug my grandchildren. I want to be around Kenny. I don't necessarily need to see Ed, but we're not there yet.
No, I know. I asked that because I take it a lot of the activities and things that you have planned are especially with the community, would be contingent upon you know, having some contact at your office space, your facility that you have there. So I take it it's going to be a couple months yet before you can even think about you know, some type of activities at your building.
Good question. So right now we're doing everything virtual. We have a really good Zoom account that has webinar capabilities, and so we're doing a lot of participation that way. We have had, like, I had my board kickoff meeting in person where people had the ability to call in if they wanted to, and we're doing that like as we can, but a lot of our members feel safer right now just participating virtually, which I think is great because we live in a day and age where we can do that.
You know, I noticed something the other day. Have any of you had a cold or the flu? I have not been sick once this whole winter.
You, Cindy.
For the first time in my life. It's the mask, you know, maybe we should all be wearing masks during flu season. It kind of makes you stop and think.
Everything.
Because when I worked at UNO around the kids, we were sick all winter long. Just one cold after another. I might be a mask wearer.
For the
I think too,
he's trying to say something mean to me, Alyssa. Please go right ahead and speak.
No, if you want to give a shout out to some of your board members, who else you serve with on a board? Maybe they want to.
So I'm the current president. Desiree Valdez she was the immediate past president. So she was 2019. She served for two and a half years. And then we really have a great board. Sean Lanka is our treasurer. Anna Palmer is our vice president. I don't know if I already mentioned her. And like Sean Lanka, she is in our law department. Haley Warner, communications officer. She is she was over our cultural awareness group, who now Erica heads up. I know Tim Crofton's been working with you guys for the class. He's over professional development and doing some really cool things in that space.
He was a student in my intro to emergency management class. He was one of my students.
He loved your class. Whenever I talked to him, he'd like give me the new update on how your class was going. And I've just heard great things.
Good. Well, Alyssa, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming. We would, anytime you want to come back and talk about something that's going on, just let us know. If you don't want to appear with that anymore, I totally get it. You and I can come on alone. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you want to invite me up to the 9th floor again for lunch, I'm open. I'll come.
I feel a little nervous, Alyssa.
Noted.
Maybe they have that face recognition software that says, no, this guy can't come again. But
Well, thank you again.
it was good to have you, and we'll be in touch. Hopefully we'll be able to do some things together and collaborate, as they say. That's the word that they want us to do. They want us to collaborate. So I'm sure there's some things that we can do with Kona, and we'll look forward to working with you guys a little bit more.
Thank you so much for coming.
Look forward to that as well. Of course. Right. Thank you so
We'll
much.
see you. Thanks, Alyssa.
Bye.
All righty, Kenny, do we have our own little Alex waiting?
Do Indian of the week?
It'll be just a second. Go ahead for 2 more minutes to wrap up this episode.
Okay,
do Indian of the week?
Let's do it, Ed.
Who else? Who else but Auntie Deb?
I know, man, you know, not to go too far, but she showed poise, calm, and control through some really, really nasty. I might have come out of that chair and slapped some people around.
I was gonna contrast her with you.
When they were speaking to her so disrespectfully, I thought, first of all, did your mothers teach you that it was okay to talk to people like that? Second of all, I wondered, would they have spoken that way to her if she was a man? I wondered that. Would they have spoken that way to her if she was white? So I kind of, when I was listening to them asking those questions, I thought, would you be asking that if it was Mitt Romney sitting in this chair? Or would you be asking that, you know, it kind of made me wonder, but she just kept going back to the points. When they said, well, you were up at Standing Rock, she said, because the tribe wasn't consulted. I was there for tribal rights. And how can you argue with that?